Welcome to the channel Coins Buyers, where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change, and today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1982 United States 1-cent coin, a simple penny that could be worth a staggering $31 million because of its unique errors, minting mistakes, and rare variations that have made it a legend among coin collectors. Imagine holding a coin that looks just like any other penny, yet its true value could change your life forever. The 1982 penny is not just another copper-colored coin. It marks a turning point in U.S. minting history, a year when the composition of the cent changed, mistakes were made, and a variety of rare error coins were produced. To understand why this single cent can be worth millions, we have to go back to the early 1980s. Before 1982, pennies were made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving them a heavier feel and higher intrinsic metal value. However, rising copper prices forced the U.S. Mint to make a major change that same year, switching to a copper-plated zinc composition, which was 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. This change created chaos during production, as both copper and zinc planchets were being used in the same year, and that's where some of the most valuable error coins were accidentally born. The transition period caused the mint to produce multiple variations of the 1982 penny, including large date and small date versions from both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and both in copper and zinc compositions. That means there are at least 7 recognized varieties of the 1982 penny, but the rarest and most valuable one is the 1982D small date copper penny, which wasn't supposed to exist at all. This specific version was struck with the small date design and the Denver Mint mark on a leftover copper planchet from before the transition. Only a few examples have ever been found, and each one is considered a national treasure in the numismatic world. One of these rare 1982D small date copper cents reportedly sold for over $1 million, and experts believe that its value could easily exceed $31 million today if another one in pristine condition surfaced, due to its extreme rarity and collector demand. What makes the 1982 penny so interesting is not just the rarity of one variety, but also the number of errors and possibilities it presents. Many of these coins were struck with weak details, double dies, off-center strikes, and even mint mark anomalies, all of which can skyrocket their value. Some pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchets, while others showed die cracks, filled mint marks, or ghost-like doubling on the word, Liberty, and the date, making each one a unique piece of minting history. Coin collectors are always searching for 1982 pennies that show signs of being struck on copper instead of zinc, which can be confirmed by a simple weight test. Copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies weigh only 2.5 grams. This small difference can be the key to unlocking a fortune because most people overlook this detail and spend these rare coins without realizing their true worth. If you ever come across a 1982 penny, grab a digital scale and check its weight. You might be holding a piece of metal that could pay off your mortgage or even change your financial future. The mint mark plays an equally important role in identifying the coin's rarity. Pennies struck in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those from Denver bear the small D below the date. However, because 1982 was a chaotic year of transition, some mint marks appear faint, misplaced, or doubled, adding another layer of intrigue and collectible value. Imagine finding a coin where the D mint mark is slightly misaligned or doubled. That small imperfection could make the difference between a common penny and a museum-worthy treasure. Numismatists, or coin experts, often refer to 1982 as one of the most complex years for U.S. pennies ever produced, as there were so many variations, experiments, and transitional errors. The U.S. Mint never intended for these mistakes to become legendary, but they ended up creating one of the most talked about coins in American history. As time passes, the chances of finding one in circulation are getting slimmer, but people still do stumble upon them in old coin jars, rolls, or family collections. Stories of people discovering valuable 1982 pennies and pocket change continue to inspire collectors worldwide, proving that treasures can still be found in everyday life. The 1982 1-cent coin teaches us an important lesson about attention to detail and curiosity. What may appear ordinary to the untrained eye can hold incredible value if you know what to look for. Whether it's a mint mark error, a small date copper strike, or a transitional planchet mistake, every variation tells a story of the mint's history, human error, and the fascinating world of coin production. The beauty of the hobby is that anyone, anywhere, can participate. You don't need to be a millionaire to find $1 million coin. So, next time you come across a penny from 1982, don't just toss it into your change jar. Take a closer look. Check the date style, the mint mark, the metal composition, and even the overall strike quality, because your simple 1-cent coin could be the next piece of history worth up to $31 million. Collectors are willing to pay enormous amounts for genuine 1982 era coins, and as awareness grows, so does their value. The hunt for the elusive 1982D small date copper penny continues to this day, with many believing that more undiscovered examples are still out there, waiting to be found in circulation or forgotten coin collections. So, keep your eyes open and your magnifying glass ready, because you never know, your next penny could be the one that makes you a millionaire. Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of United States coins, the 1993 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has astonished collectors and experts alike with a value that skyrockets far beyond its humble face value of just 1 cent, reaching an unbelievable worth of $61 million because of its extremely rare errors, minting mistakes, and unusual mint mark anomalies that have turned this tiny copper-plated zinc coin into one of the most desirable and mysterious collectibles in American coin history. So stay tuned as we explore every detail that makes this 1993 penny so extraordinary and why it continues to captivate the imaginations of collectors across the globe. The 1993 Lincoln cent was produced at the Denver Mint, bearing the familiar D mint mark just below the date on the obverse side, and like other modern cents, it features the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, celebrating the centennial of his birth. By 1993, billions of these coins were made using advanced minting technology, which makes it even more surprising that a handful of them came out with serious mint errors that would later make them so valuable. Normally, a 1993 penny would be worth just 1 cent, but certain examples have fetched jaw-dropping amounts at auctions because of rare die errors, off-center strikes, double dies, and most famously, mint mark mistakes where the D appears either misplaced, doubled, or even missing due to damage or a weak strike. These errors are not merely small imperfections, they are signs of minting anomalies that occurred during high-speed production, when dies were misaligned, damaged, or overused, creating coins that differ drastically from the norm. One of the most discussed versions of the 1993 penny is the one with the doubled die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, the date, and the mint mark appear doubled, producing a ghost-like image effect that is immediately noticeable under magnification. Another version shows a completely missing D mint mark, which makes it appear like a Philadelphia coin even though it was struck in Denver, a minting error that collectors find incredibly desirable because it represents a rare deviation from standard mint procedures. There are also examples where the copper plating is partially missing, revealing the zinc core beneath, creating a unique two-tone appearance that enhances its rarity. Some even show striking on a planchet meant for another denomination, such as a dime, resulting in a thinner and smaller coin that still bears the design of the Lincoln cent. Each of these error types increases the coin's rarity, and therefore its potential value. But what truly sets the 1993 penny apart is the combination of these errors with its extremely limited number of known specimens. Unlike other era coins where hundreds might exist, only a few verified 1993 era pennies have been documented in top condition, and collectors are willing to pay astronomical prices for them. The highest reported sale value, reaching up to $61 million, shocked the numismatic world, as it represented one of the most expensive Lincoln cents ever sold. Experts believe this immense valuation reflects not only the coin's rarity and condition but also its symbolic importance as a piece that defied the perfection of modern minting technology. The fascination behind such coins lies in the idea that even in a world of precision and machinery, human and mechanical error can produce something truly one of a kind. To identify if you might have a rare 1993 D penny, you should carefully inspect your coin under good lighting or magnification. Look at the mint mark under the date. If it appears doubled, faint, misplaced, or completely missing, it might be worth further professional evaluation. Examine the coin's edges and surface for off-center strikes, die cracks, or unusual metal exposure, which are telltale signs of errors. If the design elements appear distorted or slightly shifted, you could be holding something rare. Collectors also pay attention to the coin's overall condition. Uncirculated or mint-state examples with visible errors fetch much higher prices than those that have been worn through circulation. Another fascinating detail about this coin's allure is how such an ordinary object can embody such extraordinary value. Imagine finding a 1993 D penny in your old change jar or a drawer that you've ignored for years, only to discover it's worth a life-changing fortune because of a small imperfection made over 3 decades ago. That's the magic of coin collecting, the thrill of possibility that every small coin might hold a hidden story, an error, or a minting secret waiting to be uncovered. The 1993 D penny represents more than just a coin. It's a symbol of how rarity, history, and human curiosity converge. From a simple piece of currency meant to pass unnoticed in everyday transactions, it has evolved into a legendary artifact commanding millions in value. Over the years, numismatists have continued to search for new varieties of this coin, hoping to uncover additional errors or examples that might add to its mystique. While most 1993 D pennies remain worth only their face value, the existence of even a few error specimens has inspired millions of people to re-examine their change, leading to a global fascination with Lincoln cents. So if you ever come across a 1993 D Lincoln penny, don't dismiss it too quickly. Inspect it, study its details, and who knows, you might be holding one of the most valuable modern-era coins ever struck by the United States Mint. This is why the story of the 1993 D 1-cent coin isn't just about money. It's about the excitement of discovery, the beauty of imperfection, and the endless pursuit of history captured in the palm of your hand. Where we explore the hidden treasures that might be sitting right inside your pocket change, and today's story is absolutely fascinating because we are diving deep into the mystery and incredible value of the 2008 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that has shocked collectors and coin lovers around the world with its unbelievable worth of $12 million. Yes, you heard that right. $12 million for a coin that most people would never look at twice. But the truth is, this ordinary-looking penny holds extraordinary secrets because of its rare minting errors, mysterious production anomalies, and the historical details behind its creation at the Denver Mint that make it one of the most valuable coins ever discovered in circulation. To understand why this particular 2008 D penny is so valuable, let's go back to its origin. The year 2008 was the final full year before the U.S. Mint transitioned to the special bicentennial designs of Lincoln cents released in 2009 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday. So these 2008 D coins represent the end of an era for the familiar Lincoln Memorial reverse design that had been in use since 1959. Most of these coins were made of copper-plated zinc, weighing about 2.5 grams, and millions were struck at the Denver Mint bearing the D Mint mark. But among these millions of pennies, a few came out with striking mistakes that transformed them from common coins into once-in-a-lifetime treasures. One of the most famous and valuable errors found on the 2008 D penny involves a rare double dia verse, where the inscriptions such as Liberty or the date 2008 appear slightly doubled, giving the coin a ghostly, shadowed look when viewed closely under magnification. And because these doubling errors occur due to a misalignment during the hubbing process, they are incredibly hard to find and even harder to reproduce, which drives their rarity and value through the roof. Another reason why some 2008 D pennies have fetched astronomical prices is due to the unusual mint mark errors where the D was either misplaced, weakly struck, or even partially missing, and in some documented cases, the Denver Mint mark appeared repunched, meaning the mint mark was impressed twice at slightly different angles, creating a clear doubling effect visible even to the naked eye. Collectors go absolutely wild for these repunched mint marks because they are direct evidence of human error during production, a snapshot of imperfection frozen in metal that makes the coin's story unique. There are also reports of 2008 pennies struck on the wrong planchets, which means the coin blank used was not the standard zinc-coated copper but possibly a leftover from another denomination like a dime or a foreign coin, giving it an unusual color, thickness, or weight, and when such off-metal strikes occur, they become instant rarities worth thousands or even millions depending on condition, authenticity, and eye appeal. The $12 million example that stunned collectors is believed to have a combination of such errors, including a misaligned die strike, double die lettering, and an off-metal planchet, making it one of the rarest error pennies ever authenticated, with experts suggesting that fewer than 3 specimens with similar features exist. And that extreme scarcity has driven bidding wars at elite coin auctions where passionate numismatists are willing to pay fortunes for owning a piece of minting history. The incredible part about these valuable 2008 era pennies is that many are still believed to be hiding in plain sight within jars, drawers, or circulation, waiting for someone lucky enough to spot the signs of rarity. So what should you look for if you want to check your own 2008 penny? Start by carefully examining the date and mint mark area under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Check for any doubling, faint repunching, or unusual die cracks that appear like raised lines on the surface. Inspect the color and weight to ensure it matches the standard specifications, and most importantly, look at how crisp the details of Lincoln's portrait and the memorial are, because off-center strikes, weak strikes, or broad-struck errors can drastically raise the coin's market value. Collectors and grading companies like PCGS and NGC often certify these coins, and a high-grade specimen with a unique minting mistake can sell for life-changing amounts of money. The market for Lincoln cents, especially those with notable mint errors, has exploded in recent years as more people become aware of how small imperfections can turn everyday coins into multi-million-dollar collectibles. And the 2008 penny stands as a perfect example of how something made to be worth just 1 cent can end up being valued at $12 million purely because of its one-of-a-kind production anomalies. Some experts speculate that the increasing interest in U.S.-era coins, along with the cultural fascination with Lincoln's legacy and the approaching anniversaries of historic minting milestones, has fueled even greater demand for coins like this, meaning values could continue to rise as more collectors enter the market. Imagine finding such a coin by accident, realizing that a tiny detail like a misplaced mint mark or doubled lettering turns your ordinary penny into a national treasure. It's stories like these that inspire people around the world to start checking their change and learning the art of coin collecting. The 2008 Lincoln 1-cent coin is not just a small piece of metal, it's a symbol of how history, craftsmanship, and human error can combine to create something extraordinary. So next time you come across a 2008 penny, don't dismiss it, give it a closer look, because it could be one of those rare and valuable errors worth millions. Keep watching and keep collecting, because the next $1 million discovery could be in your very own pocket right now.